I'm going to a match of every single round of this season's Champions League.
But before we get to Munich for the final, we have to start at the beginning. So I'm leaving Lincoln and getting on a 6 AM flight to the southern tip of Europe, Gibraltar.
Here I get to see Lincoln play in the Champions League. Okay, maybe it's not my team Lincoln City, but it is Lincoln Red Imps, and they are the 27-time champions of Gibraltar. And you might be thinking, how on earth does Gibraltar have its own football league system? The country is only 2.6 square miles, which is about the same size as 2 New York Central Park.
And it's even more mental when you realise most of Gibraltar's landmass is this massive rock. But this tiny country of 34,000 people has 11 teams playing in its football league. The winner of Gibraltar's football league gets a spot in the Champions League first qualifying round. The first of 4 qualifying rounds that teams like Lincoln Red Imps need to win to make it to the group stage. Or I guess from this season on, the league phase. But we won't get caught up in all of that just yet.
So before the game kicks off this evening, I'm going to go and explore Gibraltar, but given how small it is, I suspect I'm going to get around the entire country. So I've been walking around Gibraltar for a bit. Feels really weird because you know you're in Spain, basically. You know, it kind of feels like that, the weather, the plants. But everything around here feels English. You've got English traffic lights, you've got English banks, English post boxes, English police cars. It feels like I've come to an upmarket Skegness with some nice weather to actually go along with it. Also next to the airport is Victoria Stadium. This is the National Stadium of Gibraltar and it's where all the teams usually do play, but not at the moment because it's currently under redevelopment.
So at the moment, all matches are being played on the other side of the country at Europa Point Stadium.
Like, I've only been here for a couple of hours, but I totally get the appeal of living here. It's like England, but with nice weather. Feels really nice, very safe. But unfortunately, it does seem like Marge Rail, I think is her name, has to be sent to prison for disciplinary conduct. Which is a crying shame, really. I expected better of that person. They're better than that. It's also impossible to get lost here. The place is so small, you just can't get lost. I looked at the map to see where my hotel was when I arrived, and since then I've not looked at maps at all. I've navigated around successfully. This place is really cool. If you've not been, I'd recommend it. Okay, I am now back at the hotel from exploring, but I've got a quick turnaround because I'm about to go and meet someone who is very knowledgeable on Lincoln Red Imps.
I'm Dalen Duarte, born and bred in Gibraltar. Massive Lincoln fan. My father's actually one of the 3 owners, directors of the club. Played for Lincoln most of my life. Also moved to other clubs as well, but always managed to come back to Lincoln. So basically, as I said, Charlie Forson and Charlie Head, they both started to love the club. He used to be as Newcastle, very successful, won loads of leagues as Newcastle, and obviously, I'm not quite sure how it happened, but Charlie Head and Charlie Forson had a relationship with one of the committee members at Lincoln City. And they spoke, they managed to come to an agreement, and we work for Lincoln. People in Gibraltar football is the main sport, to be honest. We support loads of English teams, so Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, very popular in Gibraltar, as well as Spanish teams as well. And yeah, it's just part of our day-to-day lives. There's loads of youth teams across Gibraltar, and loads of players go off to play in Spain as well and abroad, so it's very much in our day-to-day life. Being successful in Europe is a massive thing, not only because of the experience and what it brings the fans. So it brings loads of fans together. You get to meet a lot of clubs around the world. But as well, the prize money is a massive thing. Keeps the club running. The aim is to reach a group stage, which is what everyone wants, and it's a massive thing for us in Gibraltar.
Lincoln Red Imps travelled to Malta last week and beat Hamrun Spartans in the first leg 1-0. So if they can avoid defeat tonight, they're going into the next qualifying round.
So obviously Hamrun Spartans are a very, very big team in Malta. They've got a much better squad value than ourselves, about 3 or 4 times more. So obviously we went that way, obviously confident in our abilities, and we always go into every game thinking we can win. And much the same in Malta. We managed to get a result. Obviously the red card at the beginning of the game was a big bonus when we went 1-0 up, and then obviously we got 1 sent off as well. So unlucky about that, but we managed to get the result, and hopefully we can finish it off in Gibraltar.
So after chatting to Jalen about the club and what this game means to Lincoln Red Imps, I made my way around to the stadium and got inside just as the players were coming out onto the pitch.
There's no Champions League music. It's what I came for. I can't believe I've spent £11 on a ticket when I could have been watching for free the other side of that gate over there. We are literally 3 minutes into the game. Lincoln have just had a straight red card. This is now the biggest uphill battle possible. I didn't actually see the foul. I was too busy looking at the people who were trying to look through the gates on the other side of the stadium. So I'm not quite sure how bad the foul was, but it's a straight red card.
And being down to 10 men meant that Lincoln were on the back foot. And Hamrun Spartans scored 21 minutes into the game, which is even more devastating than me accidentally covering the mic for the next few shots.
I don't know what just happened. I turned round to get a beer. I think the goal's been disallowed. I literally have no idea what's happened. So I've missed the red card tackle. I did see the goal, but I don't know what's happened. There's a free kick now. So VAR has stepped in and said there was a foul somewhere in the build-up to the goal, and it's back to 0-0.
On the plus side, I have a pint of Heineken beer and actual Domino's pizza. It's actually in the stadium, which is pretty cool. Pizza went down well. It's good Domino's pizza, so that was eaten very quickly. So it's now half-time, and given Lincoln have played 42 minutes with 10 men, they've done really well, actually, to be fair. Other than the disallowed goal, which I think is disallowed. I'll have to double check this. Hamrun Spartans haven't really done much, to be fair. It's been a bit of a nothing game. The standard has been decent. I know Lincoln, for example, have signed a few players from second division clubs in Spain. So it's not like it's a bad standard of football, but the fact they've gone down to 10 men has really sort of hindered the game in that aspect. It's kind of more very defensive, and they get on the counter-attack every now and again. I'm loving it though. It's such a cool little stadium, and it's such a beautiful venue as well. I'm sat here in 30-degree heat watching football. There's not much more I could want, really. I'll take you on a little stadium tour, around this bit here, and there's just, a nice bar with a Domino's pizza bit. The stadium's not massive, to be fair. There's one stand on this one side. There's about 6 rows of seats, but it's what you need. Lincoln players come back out on the pitch. The Hamrun Spartans are already out there. It's a huge second half here. Winner goes to the second qualifying round and a step further towards European football. I should say European league phase football, because they're already playing European football right now. Just the qualifying rounds. We want to get to the big leagues. Hamrun are getting a bit agitated, I think, here. The longer the game goes on and they haven't scored, it's playing into Lincoln's hands. I'm sat the other end of the pitch, really, and a couple of times a Hamrun guy has thrown himself to the ground in the penalty area. And even I can tell, from this far away, it's a dive completely. No yellow card for it yet, but the referee's not given the penalty, obviously. But the longer this goes on, it plays into Lincoln's hands. And they're growing with confidence here. They've had a few chances to thread a ball through, and it's not quite worked out for them. But Hamrun are on the ropes a little bit here, despite having the extra man. And I think Lincoln could do this, The longer this game goes on, the better Lincoln are getting. They've just had a really good attack. Shot was straight to the keeper. But they're getting forward. And actually, despite being under 10 men, they're going for it, which I respect. I wouldn't do it myself because I feel like it's a bit too nervy. You're down to 10 men, you've got a 1-goal lead on aggregate. Just play for the draw, surely. But basically they're playing at the moment a 4-2-3, and they've got 3 attackers on going for it on counter-attacks. It's ballsy. I respect it. Is it the best move? I don't know, but I like it. And after saying all of that, Hamrun have literally, I don't know how they've done it, missed a shot from pretty much 2 yards out from a corner. The ball fell to the guy at the far post, and I think he stumbled over his feet and somehow put it wide, even though I don't quite know how he's done it. That should have been 1-0. First bit of rowdiness between fans. We're about 70 minutes in and it finally happens. Turns out the guys next to me are Hamrun Spartan fans. And TJ DeBar went down under a challenge. If you're a League One fan, you may recognise TJ DeBar's name. Played for Wycombe Wanderers for a while. Anyway, he's down on the floor getting some treatments. The guys next to me are get him off the pitch, treat him off the pitch. And then this guy in the front row turned around and gave these guys a bit of lip. And that's as heated as it got. Tensions here are rising. It's literally the 90th minute, and Hamrun have scored. It's 1-1 on aggregate. I'm gutted. I'm so gutted. I can't believe it. I was so bought into a narrative of Lincoln pulling off this fairy tale story down to 10 men. I think this is going to extra time. I presume that's what's happening. Like, it's a UEFA competition. It's not like it's the Checker Trade Trophy and we're going to penalties right now. But they didn't play the Champions League anthem, so, you know, this could just be a shambles. Who knows? They could do anything. Yeah, it looks like they're going straight out for extra time. So we've got another 30 minutes of football here and 30 minutes for Lincoln with 10 men to try and score. Also, all the fighting has kind of stopped and now they're just kind of having a beer with each other. Which is what I quite like. You know, you can have a go at each other, but at the end of the day, we can all bond over having a beer. Speaking of which, I might get one for the next half an hour or so. This one has just been bought for me by a subscriber, which is really kind of him. I feel bad because I didn't catch his name, but a really nice Scottish guy who's out here supporting Lincoln Red Imps. I rate it highly. Whatever the manager said at full time, heading into extra time, it's worked for Lincoln. They've not scored yet, but they've just had two really good chances. A shot from roughly the penalty spot, saved by the keeper, pushed over the bar. Resulting corner was swung to the far post and just headed wide. Lincoln aren't rattled by going a goal down. They're going for it, and I rate it. And I've said I rate it so much in this video already. I need to think of a new phrase. Another really good chance for Lincoln. They're knocking on the door. TJ DeBar this time with a low shot, saved by the keeper. He's been so good all game, by the way. He was at Wickham, and then obviously has come back to Gibraltar since then, but he's been the best player on the pitch for Lincoln. And I wouldn't mind Lincoln City signing him. I think he could play League One. I think he could. I've always wanted to start a football transfer rumour. Can we all just go on Twitter right now? Pause the video, go on Twitter, and just tweet something like, I hear TJ DeBar is signing for Lincoln City, or sources are telling me that TJ DeBar is in Lincoln looking to sign a contract with the Imps. I don't know, something along those lines. If we all do that, that might just generate enough for it to become a rumour, right? And then suddenly it takes on a world of its own. I'd like that. Half-time in extra time. Still 1-0 to Hamrun on the night. 1-1 in aggregate. We've got 15 more minutes, or it's penalties. Also, we are 105 minutes into this game, and the guy just behind the referee is Lincoln's first substitution of the match. These guys have played 105 minutes with 10 men, and they are finally now making a change. I don't know if what's just happened here. Maybe there's been a goal. Maybe not. The referee's not doing anything. Basically, the keeper came charging out to clear a ball, cleared it. He was like quite far out of his penalty area though, and so the Hamrun Spartans guy just has a shot, and either it has crossed the line, or the players like just kicked it off the line somehow. It then fell to a Hamrun Spartan player, edge of the area, has a shot, hits the crossbar, goes over. If that's not gone in, it's a goal line clearance. Also, a player's gone down injured, and I've just now decided that this boat in the background gives me some interest. It's pulling something, I can't quite tell what it is, but when does a boat become a ship? Like, what's the difference between the two? Does a boat have to be a certain size for it to be a ship? I feel like that's a very important question that needs to be answered right now. Also, Lincoln have just taken off their injured player, he's a defender, and they brought on number 11. Which, unless Lincoln are breaking every rule of football numbering conventions, that is an attacking a change. They're bringing on attackers here. They need this goal at the end. No. Number 11 is slotting in at right back. Terrible. So, penalties it is. Which is really annoying because I would love to show you the penalties, but technically that would class as me broadcasting the game and then UEFA are coming down on me like a ton of bricks. So I'll describe them to you as they happen. I just can't show you. For both of these teams, this means so much. The prize money involved for them, further down the line is absolutely incredible. Neither of these teams are likely to get through to the Champions League. Neither of these teams are likely to get through to the Champions League. But getting to the second qualifying round of the Champions League and then losing there gives them a much better chance of getting through to the league phase of the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, and that's where they can make some huge money. I hadn't even heard of Hamrun Spartans before this game, right? And yet I am now so invested for both of these teams.
I can't imagine what those players are feeling right now. I also hope they're at my end of the pitch as well. You know, I don't fancy staring over there. If it was right there, I've got a perfect view, but you know, I'd rather the penalty be closer. But I think they'll be down the end of the pitch because the Hamrun Spartan fans are in that corner right there. Also, the VAR screen is right there. So when I was like, I've no idea what's going on for the goal that wasn't a goal in the first half, I could just look right in front of me. I'm still not 100% sure exactly what the goal was ruled out for. I guess I'll find out through Twitter or something later on. So penalties are at the far end of the pitch. I can't actually film them being taken. I'm pretty sure that will break UEFA stuff, so I'll turn the camera around. Lincoln are taking the first penalty. Got a left footer. It's a short run up, left footed, mid-height, to the right of the keeper, in the back of the net. Keeper almost got there, really stretched for it. So Hamrun's first penalty. I believe this is being taken by a defender. The player I recognise seems to have been playing at least CDM, maybe centre-back. I can't quite remember now. But he's a right footer. He's just taking his time, putting the ball in the spot. It's really windy here, so the ball keeps rolling off the spot. This is why they're taking so much time to put the ball down. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half steps back. Right-footed penalty to be taken. High, down the middle, into the roof of the net. The keeper dives to his right, but there was no stopping that one. Another left footer here for Lincoln for the second penalty. Referee blows his whistle. He sends the keeper the wrong way. Left foot, low, powerful, into the bottom right corner. Keeper dives the wrong way totally, and Lincoln have a 2-1 lead. Hamrun, second penalty, another right footer for them, a very short run up. Referee blows the whistle. Straight down the middle along the floor. Keeper dives to his left. It's my boy TJ DeBar taking the third here. He's a right footer, only takes 3 steps back, and he puts his penalty right down the middle. Keeper dives down to his left. 3-2, no one's missed yet. Hamrun's third penalty now. They've got a left footer taking this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps back. Very wide stance, Ronaldo-esque here. Looks at the keeper in the eye, jogs on the spot, does a very slow run up, sends it straight down the middle. The keeper dives down to his left. 3-3. Back to Lincoln for the fourth penalty. It's another left footer. That's 3 out of 4 penalty takers for Lincoln who are left footers, which is unusual to say the least. But up he steps, quick run up, left footed, top bins, absolute top bins, sends the keeper the wrong way as well. Penalty taken to the right, keeper dives down to the left, the keeper's right, no one's missing. No one's missing. So Hamrun now with their fourth to level things up here. It's a walked run up really, and it's so nonchalant. Keeper dives down to his right, the penalty goes the other way, just rolls into the bottom corner. It was such a swagger and a saunter up to the penalty there from the player, and he just side puts it into the back of the net very comfortably. Lincoln's keeper has not looked like saving any of these penalties, and actually in the back of the net he looks kind of small, to be fair. Obviously Hamrun haven't saved any of Lincoln's penalties, but their keepers look closer to doing so. If I was going to say someone's going to win this right now, I'm putting money on Hamrun. But the fifth penalty is about to be taken. Lincoln have got a right footer stepping up here. 4 steps back. Referee blows his whistle, but the player has just stood still because the ball has rolled off the spot. It's so windy here. So he's now putting the ball back on the spot and is redoing his 1, 2, 3, 4 steps back, 4.5 steps back. Referee blows the whistle, and the penalty is so close to being saved, but it just goes over the dive of the keeper. Keeper dives down to his right, puts his hand up in the air, and the ball just evades him. So now we're at the stage where if Hamrun score, we go to sudden death. If they miss, Lincoln win. It's the Hamrun captain taking this one. He's right-footed. He walks right back out to the edge of the penalty area, but the referee's making him reposition the ball because the wind keeps blowing it off the spot again. Hamrun's keeper to take the 5th penalty. He takes 3 steps back. Quick run up, and he puts it over the bar! Lincoln have won! Lincoln are going through to the second qualifying round of the Champions League!
the captain absolutely blazed it over the bar. It was a good 5 yards over the bar at least. And Lincoln are going to the next round. They're taking on Karabag in the next round.
Champions League group stage is like the dream, you know. So it would change Lincoln massively. I think finance-wise, it would be a massive win. It would bring the club brand exposure up massively as well. And obviously that's the main objective, just make everyone aware that Lincoln is here to compete and we're not joking the club.
What a result. A win on penalties. Lincoln Red Imps are in to the second qualifier. I'm buzzing for them. I'm so buzzing for them. Back at the hotel again. What a day. It's been long, but what a day. Before I rate the match experience, I've got to shout out Jalen. What a boy. He's helped me out massively whilst I'm here. And also, he picked me up from the hotel, drove me to the stadium, brought me back as well. A full chauffeur service. So massive thanks to him. We'll start off with the atmosphere. It's a small stadium. There's one stand along the side of the pitch. There's not a huge amount being generated by either set of fans. I mean, both gave it a go, but it's not like it's the Dortmund yellow wall. However, there was a bit of a party at the end when Lincoln won on penalties. I'll give it 2 out of 5 stars. It might be a little bit generous when we go to other places and compare that atmosphere. You weren't going to get much here. But I am going to give them 5 stars for the food. I mean, I literally had Domino's pizza in the stand. I am not going to get a better pizza anywhere in any stadium. And unless I go hospitality, I don't think I'm going to get any better food. Domino's pizza is elite, so I'm going to give it 5 stars for the pizza. And for the stadium, I don't want to do it because I really liked the ground. You know, it's such a beautiful outlook onto the sea. You get a really decent view of the pitch as well. You feel quite close to the action. We are going to be comparing this to some of the best stadiums in Europe, in the world, right? Doesn't quite live up to that. So I feel harsh giving it 1 star. It's better than that for what it is. It's perfect for the, the size of the place, right? But it's not going to be, the Allianz Arena at the final sort of thing. So I feel harsh doing it, but yeah, it's a shame. That gives Lincoln Red Imps 8 stars out of 15, although I do feel like they're being hard done by on the facilities and the atmosphere. I had such a good time. It's one of my favourite matches I've been to. For a game that was 0-0 for 89 minutes, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Lincoln put in such a battling performance. Like, they were celebrating winning free kicks at around the 80 sort of minute mark because that's just how much it meant to them. They knew they had to go out there. As soon as they went a man down, it was like, okay, we've got to get a draw. And although they didn't sit back and park the bus, they did give it a go. Like, they played so well and they so deserved to win. I was so happy for them when they won that penalty shootout. They're going on to play Karabag in the second qualifying round. But we're going to go somewhere else. We're not going to go to Gibraltar again. But let me know in the comment section where you think I should go. I want to hear what you guys want to see. I want to know your suggestions. Anyway, I am going to get to bed now. I've got an early flight back to the UK tomorrow. I've literally been here for 24 hours. It's not enough time. I want to come back. But in the meantime, you can watch this video on screen where I went to Euro 2024. Tried to watch 3 games in 3 days. Didn't quite work out that way because the German train system... Well, watch the video, you'll find out. It's not good, basically.